Hey everybody, Sidebox here with another update for PUBG, and this one is a massive update, so this might take us a little while. I'm going to jump right into it and try to make this as time efficient as possible while still hitting on some of the big stuff. First thing I want to note is that Erangel 2.0 is finally here. It arrives on live servers on Tuesday the 23rd, which is going to be kind of late at night though, probably after maintenance, so it actually might not be playable for most of us until Wednesday the 24th, but that's no worries. It's here, and it is currently live on test servers now, so if you update test servers you can test that along with patch 4.1. Season 4 of PUBG is here, and we're going to dive right into the patch notes for that. I will put a link in the description below for the trailer to the new season. They have a really cool cinematic trailer with a little bit of hints at lore, which is really exciting. A link to the YouTube video of the leaked items in the new Survivor Pass. There are over 100 items in the new Survivor Pass, and also I will of course post a link to my Twitch channel if you ever want to check that out. You don't have to do that. So without further ado, let's jump right into this bad boy. So the first thing that we want to talk about are the map changes. They've upgraded into Erangel 2.0. We've seen all this stuff before, but a few things that were not in the previous test for the new Erangel. They've added some different places to get up around the island, specifically looks like military base, maybe just some of those rock walls by the ocean that you couldn't really get out of very easily. They've added some little pathways there. They've added some small cover to the beaches, little looks like cross boards and things, I don't know, some old tanks some places, and they've also added some trenches in big fields, specifically like south of Gatka and stuff like that. So really excited about those to see how those change gameplay. Those field endings are always atrocious, so that's really exciting news. Another thing that I know a lot of people were pressed about was the FPS. A lot of people reported really poor quality in the frames. It seems, from what I've watched today on Twitch and things like that, a lot of the streamers say that the FPS issues have been solved. Some of them say at the beginning of the match is still an issue, which is something that kind of happened recently in a patch that I think they fixed. So hopefully that's just another little bug. I know for the vast majority of games I've watched today, they looked great. The FPS has been through the roof, so that's phenomenal. So getting into the Survivor Pass for Season 4, it's called Aftermath. There are, like I said, over 100 new items, which, I mean, as we all know, plenty of those are just going to be, you know, junk. But there are some exciting things in it, I believe. Once again, it'll be linked in the description below if you want to check out those items. I'm not going to rip off the video or anything. There's an awesome video with all the leaks on YouTube. You can check that out below. Let me know which ones are your favorite. I really like the level 3 helmet, and a few other different skins. There's a lot of really cool weapon skins in it now, I believe, and some cool clothing skins too. Another thing that they've added though this time around is the ability to do co-op missions with teammates, as well as solo missions and things like that. Survivor Pass 4 will be live through October the 15th once it launches with the map on Tuesday. So we get quite some time. I think it is 12 weeks to accomplish all this stuff. And now we're going to get into the weapon and item balance updates. There are some huge changes here. First of all, the Kar 98 has swapped its damage from 75 to 79, the base damage, which is nuts. It is swapped with the M24. We'll get to that in a minute. Increased the per bullet damage per pellet base damage of the S12K from 22 to 24, the sawed off from 20 to 22, and the pump shotties and the double the pump shotty and the double barrel from 24 to 26. So they buffed all of the shotguns across the board, which is interesting. Third person, heyo. They've also made the ADS zoom speed 3% faster for the crossbow, and they've added a trail that you can actually follow the trajectory of the crossbow bolt. So the nerfs, so they've nerfed the M24, like I said before. They swapped the damage from the M24 to the Kar 98. So the M24 has faster bullet speed, but it now hits a little bit lighter, and the K9 will have a little bit slower bullet speed but hit harder. So that's gonna be interesting to see. But they both still one shot in the head, level 2 helmet, so we're good to go. Reduce the base damage of the barrel M762 from 46 to 45, which is just a slight nerf. I'm waiting to see Wacky Jackie's interpretation of all these changes to the ARs in terms of time to kill and stuff like that. The AK and Grasa are now down from 49 to 47 per bullet damage. The base damage of the M4, the G36, the QBZ, the Scar, and the AUG are all down from 43 to 41. So rip 5-6 weapons. Not really, that'll still be great. But it's very interesting. They're trying really hard to balance out all the ARs and then make SMGs and even shotguns kind of viable somewhat evenly and have their, their strong suits. They did also reduce the maximum bullet travel of all shotguns from 1,000 meters to 150 meters. I don't think that'll ever really matter, but it's there. They also changed the duckbill attachment. It now shoots vertically instead of horizontally, like I said, the crossbow thing. And then the top rail to the Uzi, this is one of the biggest changes in this patch, and I'm very excited to try this out. I saw some people ripping it up with it. The Uzi can now take dot sights and hollow sights. Next, we're going to vehicle balance updates. They've improved the handling of rear wheel drive vehicles. Let's see, the regular 3 and 3-seater motorbikes have stabilized. They've increased the max speed of the scooter, which is exciting. Greatly improved handling of the buggy and increased its wheel durability, which is great. Increased the max speed of the buggy, increased the HP of the UAZ and the Tuxai quite a bit. Wow. They've nerfed the overall HP of the Murado. Motorbikes will consume 50% more fuel than before. Decrease the acceleration and boost multiplier rate for Dachas. Maximum speed will stay the same. Dacia Murado vehicle speed will now be reduced by 15% when driving on surfaces like sand, mud, grass, and dirt, which is interesting. When you're driving on rocky surfaces with any vehicle, friction will be decreased by 10%, making them more difficult to control. So that's interesting too. Introduced BRDM2 specific vehicle damage modifiers per game mode. Here, I was kind of on board for these kind of changes, but I think this is a little bit much. So in solos, they take 80% more damage. So it only takes 1/5 the damage it would take normally. I think that's way too weak now, but we'll see how that goes. And in duos, 40% more damage. I'm not sure how necessary that was. I think it was necessary to make a change, but not that. And they also changed some other things. We'll get to that in just a moment. So they implemented new buggy and Murado sounds, visual effects when boosting is now changed to a high RPM engine sound, improved aiming while inside vehicles, which I'm very excited about. I don't know how steady that is. I haven't seen much of it yet, but maybe you can hit some sick clips now from vehicles. Improved the FPV camera, sure, whatever. New features, added auto acceleration, which is similar to auto run. You just hit the equals button or whatever it's assigned to on your key bindings, and your car will drive straight at the max speed possible, just like you would if you were auto running. Auto acceleration can be activated with the equals key. Added locking. This is the new change to the BRDM that I think that they needed to do, but it's still, I think it's overkill with all these changes. There's a locking mechanism now, so only your teammates are allowed to get in the BRDM2 with you. So if you already have, this only counts for the driver's seat, I believe, but I'm not certain on that. When all teammates exit it, it will unlock whenever so other people can't just join in it. I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny, but I see the reasoning for it. It was kind of OP. Car audio feature. This is kind of exciting, but kind of corny, and you can't really hear it that well. Maybe they'll change that, but there are some default random songs that play in vehicles now. They ripped off mobile in that sense, because mobile gets way more content than us. But that's exciting. So you can play some music now. It jams for a while until the song is over or until you stop it. All your teammates can hear it. I don't know if other players can hear it yet. I haven't confirmed that. But yeah. This is another huge change here. Healing and boost item improvements. You can now heal and boost while moving, which is insane, but you can't run. Whatever. So you can walk at a very slow pace while you bandage, while you hit first aids, while you boost. I don't know if I like being able to first aid and move. Bandages are okay. That's kind of on the line. I was thinking just boost items would have been nice. But this is cool. I'm interested in seeing it play out for the grand scheme of things. I watched it used earlier. It didn't seem too OP, but I can imagine situations where you're trying to finish somebody you have like really low behind a tree and they just keep back and forth. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. First aid kits no longer heal additional damage after you receive damage once the healing starts. So if it starts ticking up and you get chunked, it won't just heal it back to 75, it'll take that out of you. Visual effect improvements. Optimize and rework the visuals of the Molotov cocktail, improved weapon and vehicle shaders, and improved frag grenade explosion effects. I was really hoping for some actual damage or weight changes to the frag grenade or something, because they're very strong. But oh well, this is interesting. It'll look better, whatever, sure. Optimize and differentiated muzzle flash effects for each weapon specifically, so that's interesting too. Radio message marker distance adjustment. I didn't really use this very much, but you now can only do that within 300 meters. It was 500. So if you saw Wacky Jackie's video a while back, there was an issue that someone had found. I don't know how they realized it. but it was pretty nuts. FPS in game actually affected your time to kill and your recoil of your weapons, your fire rate. If you had a weird numbered FPS, you were getting slower TTK and slower recoil, easier to control sometimes, different recoils. You couldn't really learn muscle memory or anything, and you couldn't do anything to control it either. So it was very strange, but they made them aware of it, and they seem to have solved that issue with this patch. That's very exciting in my opinion. So it's something we probably won't all notice, but like right away, but it is going to be across the board a very effective change. They've added turntables, which is an interesting little tidbit. You can listen to a nice little song, and this one I know for sure, unlike the vehicles, that opponents can hear it as well. So maybe you can do some tricky baits and stuff. And honestly, if I run into a building and I hear a turntable playing, I'm gonna be creeped the fuck out. They've updated the character customized tab UI. Looks nice. Weapon master UI, store UI, all that stuff. I won't go too deep into that. Matchmaking changes. So from what I understand, there will no longer be a specific map selector. You can select either a random map of 3 or the featured map. So for instance, when we get this new patch, Erangel 2.0 is going to be the featured map for quite some time, I imagine. So you can queue into it specifically, or you can get a randomly selected one of the other ones. So this is kind of aimed, I think, more specifically at NA, but across the board, people are playing certain maps more than others. So this should hopefully alleviate that. I know a lot of people are going to be wanting to play Erangel anyways, and then the other maps, it would just be nice to, not always get Sandhawk 30 games in a row with an occasional Vikendi daytime mode and burn your eyes off. So I'm hoping that works out, but I still don't know how I feel about it. We'll see how it goes. Different preset match things for custom games and things like that. All kinds of different changes there. You can dig deeper into those if you'd like. They added some new Nations Cup things in game, whatever, new pan skin for it. Performance, map loading speed has been improved. Improvements have been made to reduce instances of hitching and stuttering. Optimized calculation of character movement outside the player field of view to improve performance. Replays are getting resets. Observer UI improvements for matchmaking observation, and then some bugs fixes. We'll go through these really briefly here. Fixed an issue where map boundary collision could prevent the parachute from deploying. That's interesting. Yikes. Fixed an issue where smoke grenades could float above the ground. And that didn't come up too often, but it was pretty funny and very annoying, especially if it was maybe not showing on your screen that way, but it was on the opponent's. So that's great. Fixed an issue where teammate UI wasn't displayed correctly in platoon mode. Custom matches. Fixed an issue where care packages could fall outside the playable area. Yeah, okay, we'll see. Fixed an issue where the exact drop location of care packages could be marked by using markers. That was very annoying. I saw Choco Taco post some things about that. Very frustrating that people could just click a little button and find out exactly on the map where the airdrop was going to land. So I'm glad they fixed that. Fixed an issue where players could enter the BRDM2 at higher speeds than intended without receiving damage. Yeah, that's... it doesn't really matter now because nobody can join it outside your team anyways. Fixed an issue which could cause players to receive damage unintentionally when exiting a vehicle in water. That's good. That was always very frustrating. Fixed an issue which could cause the R1895 animation to be played on another weapon in specific situations in FTP. Sure. Fixed an issue where the extended quick draw mag did not properly improve the reload time for the Tommy gun and Vector. Never noticed that. I'm glad that's fixed though. Fixed an issue where players behind walls could be damaged by vehicles in specific situations. Also never encountered that, but great. Fixed an issue where the reload animation could be canceled, yet still allow a full reload when dropping other equipped weapons. That's just old school. And fixed an issue where certain sounds from other players could be heard when observing and switching between teammates. That's also interesting. Nothing in here about the recent sound issues, but I have heard rumors that they are on that and they found some different issues. I know there was a big thing that Wacky Jackie had posted about recently, where red carpet in buildings on Miramar, I don't know if they're anywhere else, you wouldn't hear footsteps on them, and blue carpet you would, and just different weird things. So hopefully they're getting that all under control. Also, they made some blue zone changes to Erangel. They've decreased the size of the first circle, and then the time between them is now quicker, but they move slower, which is what we've been asking for forever. I don't know how similar to comp settings it is. We'll have to monitor that and see, but I'm very excited for that as well. That's a very welcome change, IMO. Thank you guys. Ton of stuff to go through. Feel free to skim through it. Let me know your favorite things. What do you not like? What are you hoping to see soon? I'm really excited to check this out. I will be playing it a ton on test servers later this week, as well as live servers next week, so be sure to check that out if you want to swing by the channel and say hey. We're always live almost every day, just not Wednesdays and Sundays. I'll post a link as well to my schedule and to my Twitch channel below. I really appreciate the support on these videos lately. If you aren't already subscribed, please do so. It helps me out a ton, and we'll see you all next time.